Hello, this is Anti-Darwin, and like promised, I have brought another guest with me, a very famous guest with me. And before I take his surprise name, I'm going to say that this replay is between Asmondi Ants versus Dasduelon on CabanaRepublic, and I have a very surprise guest with me today, like I mentioned before, and it's none other than BikeRushOwns. How are you,
Hello.
BikeRush?
I'm good. You?
I'm fine. It's a pleasant surprise because a lot of people were very excited to hear you and to know about you in the Red Alert 3 community, Bike Rush. And I want to I want to ask you, why is it that you are so popular in the Kainsrath and Tiberian War community?
Well, being popular, I don't know. Probably because I've won a couple. I've won a shitload of tournaments, but being popular as I am on Cane Draft and Tiberian Wars is probably because I flame a lot. But yeah, I've played Cane Draft and Tiberian Wars for the past 5, 6 years. I started getting good in Tiberian Wars in about 2010. When I mean good, I mean like real, like proness, you know. And started winning ladder wars and shit like that. Won a few tournaments. Then I went on to Cane Draft. I started off going second place in ladder wars vs Technique. Then played another ladder wars and got second place again vs Ionian. Then I started winning them. I think I've actually won 11 ladder wars in a row at the moment. Um, Last tournament for Tiberian Wars was the League 2 that I won. I think it was $150 cash prize and the free limited game, Command and Conquer, whatever that one. Limited edition, yeah. And that's about it. And yeah, I play a shitload of games.
And Bike Rush, I heard that you won a tournament recently on Tiberium Wars League, and it was like about $150.
Yeah.
Tell me about your experience winning that tournament, because I heard a lot of pro players were participating in that tournament. Even Technique
Yeah, yeah.
participated in that tournament.
Well, yeah, I actually went into that tournament without sleep. I stayed up the whole previous night playing Cane Draft. I haven't touched Tiberium Wars until like a week. So I was a bit rusty, and I went in there. First game, I went the Technique. I won 3-0. Mostly because of engineers. I think I got lucky though because I was super sleepy. But yeah, I ended up winning 3-0. And it was just I went against a few other players, but I'm not that good. I beat them. Then it came down to me, Aviz Mays, who is a really good Tiberium Wars player. He was probably the favoured player at the time at that tournament. I ended up winning 4-3, and it was pretty insane. I actually didn't believe I won because I was so tired I could barely micro my units. But it came down to Nod vs Nod Shadow Team, and I got his engineer, and that's what won me the game and that tournament. So yeah.
Bike Rush, what I don't understand is that this Kane's Wrath and Tiberium Wars, I have played those games as well on offline mode mostly, and I've noticed that the units, the game is a bit totally different than Red Alert 3, because Red Alert 3 is about specific countering, like many you have to make specific units to counter the anti-air for anti-air purposes, or specific units that can help you put down enemies on land or something from aerial units that only can attack land units. But like in Tiberium Wars and Kinroth, there is a unit that I remember that's this helicopter, the Venom, for example. It can hit not only land but also air at the same time,
Yeah.
and there also when you make those rocket troopers, for not they not only hit, not only for also with GDI there are rocket troopers, they are hitting, they are like in a group. When you make them, they like 5 6 together in a group, So it's a very difficult transition from Tiberium Wars and Kane's Wrath to Red Alert 3, and already a famous Kane's Wrath player, another player, a Unknownian, he had difficulty in Red Alert 3. What I'm wondering about is how did you manage to pull it off so well in Red Alert 3, and how are you uh, faring up well over here in Red Alert 3 so quickly? It's really amazing.
Um, yeah, it's I'm not like the best at the moment. I'm not up there with other players at the moment. I would say I'm goodish. I can hold my own ground. Yeah, the transition's really hard because I do still play Kane's Wrath and Tiberium Wars. I do quite play them a lot, and I play StarCraft 2 a little bit. So all the hotkeys are kind of confusing, like at times. But I think that the main reason I got good in such short time because I kind of played the best players what are there to play at the moment. I mean, I don't dodge away and like Ionian tries and he plays at like specific times where people are offline and good players are offline. But yeah, I try to play the best at the moment so I can learn from my mistakes and try and get on that. And with the Tiberium Wars and Kane's Wrath units, I think the game design on them two were mass armies, and Red Alert 3 was ability using, so more micro intensive. So like when you say rockets can shoot air and ground, I think that's because they were made that specific way. Instead of like Red Alert 3, you have to transform your like if you got a Tengu, you have to transform it to kill air. If you got a Venom, it can shoot air and shoot ground, and that's because it's just you can get more units in Tiberium Wars and Kane's Wrath than you can in Red Alert 3. And Red Alert 3's kind of got that way with it where you're locked in a specific way where you can only do a few build orders that will actually work for these other players. So if you see you got your two refineries starting on Kane's Wrath, you can go free with two refineries and then move. Well, you go two refineries and then move your MCV, but on Kane's Wrath you can build like 5 harvesters, 6 harvesters, and there's more Tiberium. On Red Alert 3, you know, you're limited to that much Tiberium and that much build radius. So yeah, I think that's the difference, and that's the reason I got good in Red Alert 3 so fast, because I do play it quite a lot and I do try my best at times. So yeah.
Okay, you might have heard about this champion player Dasduelon in Red Alert 3, and he has been here for a long time in the game since 2008, late 2008, and he's been really dominating the Red Alert 3 game. Like he's won a lot of Conquer Cups, and also to add up with that, a lot of ladder war tournaments. And what did you hear? Did you hear something about this player? And what are your thoughts about him?
I did hear something about him from my other player. I'm not sure what player it was. I actually asked about him because, well, I can't remember what I asked about, but I did ask about him because I saw him, and his micro is actually really good, and the Conquer Cups, winning that when it was a big deal and Red Alert 3 was alive, I kind of think if he won that, he had to be really good himself. So yeah, he does seem like a very good player that was very hard to defeat. But yeah, most players have weaknesses. You just got to find them weaknesses, and then you can just steamroll them. So yeah, fine.
Okay, let's talk about this map, Bike Rush, this CabanaRepublic, and a lot of allies players are complaining on this map that this map is too OP for Empire. But recently there is a player, I don't know if you know about him. His name is Wolf the Wolf, and this other player, Kong Hans. They have made this transition for new allies players, the new generation, and they're quite confident coming into CabanaRepublic because somehow they have this game plan where they just hold on to 3 or 4 refineries, minimum 3 refineries, and they stop the Empire player from expanding, and then they just defend themselves very well and also stop them from getting more than 3 refineries, and then they just go into that 22nd to 23rd minute mark where they can utilize those cryo guidance, and then they can easily win those games, because everybody knows that once allies come into that phase of the game, they can easily wipe the Empire guy out because of those cryogeddons. And if you use your cryogeddons properly, you can easily win in those situations. So what is your thinking about this map, and how do you feel about this map?
Okay, so I've actually played this map around maybe 25 times at least. Now, the map itself is a very big map. You got the sea, and you got two oils, two refineries starting, then you got one above you, and then two in the sea. So, and one down at the sea near you, but you got two up on there. So, for allies, I think when you're allies, I'm not the best allies player, but what I've seen so far, when you're allies, you do want to capture both of them oils. You do not want to let Empire capture them oils. You at least want to capture one or kill one. Either way, you still want one of them. And the middle is very important. Now, reason for the middle being important, because you got to see when Empire strikes. If they get Tingus in your base and start killing your harvesters, it's game over already. So what you want to do is scout all around the map, maybe send a dog to the third, where they usually third expand. Now if they go for third refinery, you want to go cryo rush, or you can go engineer rush. But with allies going 3 or 4 refineries, that's a very smart move. They just have to keep Empire off them. And if you see all these hills, your Apollos can go above these hills and watch for units below it. So when the Tingus come over to try and take out your Apollos, you'll see them coming before they see you. So yeah, Empire are actually, I would think Empire are really good in this map because it's so open. It leaves them Apollos and Vindicators and Cryos just to go all over the map. And the allies can infantry push, go to tier 3, and yeah, like you said, they just dominate when they're tier 3.
Yes, but saying these things is a lot easier than doing it, because a lot of allies players are still struggling on CabanaRepublic, even though there are a lot of pro allies players who struggle versus pro Empire players on this map, because this is a 10 out of 10 Empire map, and a lot of allies players are struggling over here, especially versus people like Queen Oni, RS Emperor, Eminence, and this person Dasduelon. Okay, let's not talk more, because I think if we start talking about these things, it's gonna take like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, I
Let's
think so.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Let's start the match. Press escape.
Okay, go.
We
Okay,
have Empire Dasduelon on the right hand side, on the east side as Red Empire, and you on the left
left
hand
side.
side,
Yep.
Allies orange color.
So now what I'm thinking here on this map, I usually go get a dog out first, so I can scout the middle. And if you see, I put my barrack boot camp on the direct left, so I can send my engineer around. Because if I go straight through the middle, the dojo cores will get my engineer. Even now, it's very hard to even get to that oil. You will need to micro your rockets, and I sell my boot camp now. Because for the rush, what I'm going for, I don't want too many units, and I micro my dog around them dojo cores to see his base. It's very important to kill any scouts, like the blur. I can't pronounce it. Burst
The
drones.
burst rune. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, them little fuckers. You have to kill them. If he sees what you're gonna do, it's so annoying. So that's why I keep a rocket back at my base right now, because I don't want the burst drone getting on my harvester or airfield. So if you see Empire going for a third refinery right now, this is the perfect time, because I actually saw it with my dog. Now this is the perfect time to do a cryo rush, and you see he got my engineer on the left. I
Yes,
just
you squished
missed it.
your engineer, and this is what I've been told by my previous guest, fighting for fun, veteran allies players, that these dojo cores are really a menace for the allies player, because they always squish units, and mixed with the IW's Benzai spam, they really are a thorn for the allies player. So now
Y-
you are going for immediately a Vindicator and a Cryocopter. What's with that, Bike Rush?
Well, when my engineer died, I know he's going to have both oil derricks, and if I do not do this rush, I'm dead automatically because he has 3 refineries. I'm on. I would be if I didn't cryo rush, I'd be on 2, and then I'd have to move my MCV up. And the time I get Apollos and Vindicators out, it will be game over because I'm oils. And you see, I hid a rocket trooper up there by the oil.
Yes,
That's what
and
I
it
always do.
destroyed it. I just hovered my mouse over there.
Yeah, and that's what I do. I hide a rocket trooper over there and then destroy it. And now I take out the harvesters. You got to make sure you one-click them. And now I'm going to the 3rd refinery because I know it's up there, and that's what that dog was for. That's an importance of scouting in this game. And you have to wall your um, air base immediately at the start of the game, just in case they try infantry spam you. So he's got 3 refineries now. He's got 3 refineries now. He has to sell one off because he sold his MCV. He have low power. He has 2 towers. So really, it's going to be game over for now, unless he got tier 2. But like I said, he's got no power at all. So you see
Yes,
him
what I
try.
don't understand is why didn't Doolin go for a tier 2 or something? He can
Well,
easily sell one of those turrets and go tier 2, because by the time you are coming back with another cryo run, he will have enough time to go tier 2 and go mass P access. He still has 2 refineries and he still has 1 oil derrick.
yeah, you got a point. He'd have to sell one of them turrets. But if he did that tier 2, he would give me the advantage of going 3 refineries when he's on 2. So now
But
if
he
he
has stopped you somehow from that 3rd refinery with this small attack, Bike Rush, like with this IW, so many IWs in your base, and he's almost destroyed one of your refineries over here.
Yeah, you could say that, but I've got that chopper right there, and as soon as he lands any units, I can just drink him and freeze them. And what you got to remember is when Empire go tier 2, their speed's going to be down a little bit because they have no Tingus, and the Empire's jet Tengos, I mean, their power are them units, and then the tier 2 are their best units. And then you got tier 3, but you don't really want to go tier 3 of these allies unless you're these Soviets, I would say. Unless allies have gone tier 3 themselves. But even if he did go tier 2, he would still be behind because he did have to sell his MCV to get back into the game. So all I would have to do is spam tier 2 and infantry. And you see he comes into my base right now. He's going to try and kill my chopper. But I have my Apollos there and they're going to get taken down right now. Even if he gets, you see, most of the time I always start building a harvester all the time as soon as he's got Tingus in my base. But I forgot here at the start. They always want to have building harvesters ready because with 4 jet Tingus they're going to take out your harvesters. But where he is now, he only has. We see that rocket up on the top right. I keep taking that oil refinery out. I took a harvester out. I think I took out a harvester with that rocket. I'm pretty sure I did. And that was from that rocket that killed that oil. So now it's he can't get back in this game because it's just way too far behind. I mean, he's only got 1 more factory, and because he sold his MCV, if I kept on in this game, I could just use my special ability. You know what freezes it?
Cryogeddon.
Yeah, Progeton. I could just use that like most people do on his war factory and my Cry Chopper and just win the game right there. So with allies, I would say it's best to do Cry Chopper and stay on the 2 refineries, keep building Apollos and Vindicators. And if he goes tier 2, go for a 3rd refinery, infantry spam, and keep your cryo alive because he will run over your infantry if he can. See, I use my special ability there and freeze that Mega Bay, and I keep building Cry Choppers right now because that's all I have to do to win the game and kill his stuff, and that's game over because I got his harvesters at the start and killed that oil. So you have to take out the oil unless they're going to get back in the game.
One thing I noticed, Bike Rush, that even though Doolin has had a lot of IWs scattered all over this map, and somehow you managed to keep your javelin soldiers very in secretive, and you hid them somehow. He didn't track these javelin soldiers, and we saw that one javelin soldier initially killed one oil derrick, and the other one, which you pointed towards the other oil derrick, killed the other one, but he had stationed some IWs over there nearby. How did you manage to do that? Even though this is a it was really I don't know how did you hit them from him? Either it was you did it deliberately or he didn't track them down.
Well, what you want to do with your units is keep them behind trees, because I figured out that if you keep them behind trees, they're actually like fucking impossible to see. They're actually really hard to see. Like when you have that laser on, they can see that. So what you want to do is keep your laser off the rocket. And for when he had all the units around all over the map, I kept him busy looking at my cryo chopper when I was when I was killing these harvesters. And when I did that rush down the bottom, then I moved my javelin because I knew he'd be distracted and it would be the best chance to go in and try and kill stuff. So that's how I did it. And after my cryo chopper rush, he was I think he was in a panic mode that he was trying to get back in the game. He wasn't actually focusing a lot. He was trying to kill my harvesters.
Okay, so
That music.
this is yes, it was my cell phone ringing. So this was a very short game, Bike Rush. But what
Yeah.
why I like this game was because a lot of allies players are always complaining that they have difficulty on this map, and somehow they are having problems versus Empire. But the way you played, really it made look very easy on how to play on this map.
Yeah. Well, on that map, I think your best chance is just to cheese them. I think that's your best chance is Empire. You can go for that third refinery, fourth refinery, but you have to be a good Allies player. And this is the problem. Allies players think they're good when they're actually not that good compared to Empire players. Like you said, Wolf, I've seen his gameplay, he's an excellent Allies player. If you're going to learn anything from Allies, you should just take it from him and learn from him. I've seen his gameplay, he's actually incredible with Allies. And I think he's actually shown players that to play Allies, you do need some micro and you do need basic knowledge of the game.
Okay, Bike Rush, I hope everybody enjoyed this game, and I hope that you can sometime come again and we could do a proper game, like a longer game.
It
And
sounds sweet, that's no problem.
because a lot of people are eager to see your insights on how you play your games, because you have been streaming a lot of your games as well, auto match games. And
Yeah.
what I have noticed is that whenever you make any unit, you always group it. Like you make a dog, you make it group, and each and every unit you are like grouping, and you are using that mini map a lot. This is
Yeah.
what doing it is very difficult for me, especially doing the mini map, because I mostly see the main map, but these pro players, they are telling me that you always have to look most of the times on the mini map, and this
Yep.
is very difficult to practice, to be honest.
Well, I'm gonna give you a tip. What you want to do is play red. I always play red. Red is the easiest to see on the map, and with the mini map, you gotta look at the little dots and you gotta look at the buildings. Now, clicking on the mini map's easier, and scrolling it's much faster. And you can click on the mini map and actually click on the unit to kill it, or group when you say I group my units at the start. I group every single unit so I can use their ability and micro around. You have to group every unit, and even if you're not good at grouping or your micro sucks, I mean, if you're gonna group, you're gonna have to do it and learn how to micro. You should just spend a couple of hours each day playing with someone you know and practicing that every day. I did that on Tiberium Wars for a month at least. I literally every day for a few hours I got someone I knew and I just built a few units and microed them around and stuff. So that's how I learned the micro, and then the speed comes, and when you get the speed, you'll be fine. All you need on a strategy game is speed and micro, and you'll be fine, and a build order, and that's all you need, and you start winning.
And Bike Rush, tell me one last question before we go. Is that who do you think are the top players currently in Red Alert 3, like in Kane's Wrath, and Tiberium Wars. Over here in the Red Alert 3 community, we are always hearing about 5-6 names, like your name comes up, Bonus RU, and this technique, Ainonian, and Kimosabi, something like that, and there are Green Zero even. These names are coming up over and over again. But when you used to be playing in that circuit, which names you heard, and when you came here, which players impressed you the most?
Okay, so we start with Cane Draft. Cane Draft was when I first got on it. The first players that were very good was Unleash, Dirty Dutch, Bonusry, and Technique, and Green Zero. Green Zero was good, yeah. But nowadays, I think I could say I'm probably the best player on Cane Draft because I am undefeated in a shitload of tournaments, and I probably do have the most one of the best win ratios on Cane Draft. But that's just because I learnt that game really fast. I mean, the competition on Cane Draft's not the best at the moment, but it's good enough to keep playing. And oh yeah, I left one player out as well, Spectre. He is a great player. Eclipse, and that's mostly for Cane Draft. And Red Alert 3 would be, what's his name? It starts with E-M-I, Eminence. What's his name?
Yes, it's Eminence.
Yeah, Eminence. Yeah, he's an incredible player. I actually play him, and I think I learned just a bit more from playing him myself. He's a really good player. Lost My Skill, outstanding. That's who it is. AA, awesome. He's a very good player. Pro Yuri or something like that. And the best player on Red Alert 3, I feel, is Tingu, the Soviet player. His micro is fucking amazing. I mean, it's incredible. I think he's a really good player, and his builds are solid. I've played him before, and I beat him, but then he smashed me after I beat him like 5-1. He's just an incredible player, and that's probably that for Red Alert 3. Players who impress me would just be them players. And like yourself, you're actually a very good player. You just need to focus a bit more on your micromanagement and build orders. But your speed and your gameplay is fine. It's just you need to carry on from what you're doing, and you need to not get mad over when you lose, because when you get mad, you actually
Yes, Athene is a very famous StarCraft 2 player, and he's always making videos. And he says that when you get mad, the brain that controls your stomach, and that other part is activated, and you start thinking from that side, like you start thinking from your shit side, I think.
yeah,
And
yeah.
all of a sudden you are not using your brain, and I think I have this problem, and I'm working on it, and still I'm working a lot on improving, but I think my time, maybe it will come like after a year or so, or 1 month, I don't know, but I'm really working hard. Thank you for joining me, Bike Rush On. I
No
think
problem, man.
a lot of people will be really excited to hear your insight on the game, and I hope that you can join me some other day, and we could do another cast.
Yeah, it's no problem.
Take care, Bike Rush. Have a
You too,
nice
man.
time. Take care.
Good night.
I'm signing off.
Peace.